We are joined now by Margaret, who was there in attendance. Margaret, let me start with actually what you had a chance to ask Secretary Tillerson about. You said, you used his own words, that he had said the Russians were either incompetent or complicit in this chemical weapons attack. And his response was what now?
Well, he said at the end of this extensive meeting with Vladimir Putin and with the Russian foreign minister that the U.S. has no concrete evidence, so to speak, that Russia had prior knowledge. But he didn't directly answer the question in more full terms, but he made clear that the Assad regime is fully responsible for that sarin gas attack that the U.S. says was conducted from that airbase that the U.S. bombed just a few days ago.
So where is the differences? Where is the biggest difference, I guess I should say, between the U.S. and Russia as far as the chemical attack and what they want to see going forward?
Well, what you heard was pretty, for having spent so much time trying to narrow the differences, it sounded like they are pretty big gaps between the U.S. and Russia on many, many issues, Syria being one of them, at least rhetorically. They don't seem to have moved the ball on that. What we know is that Secretary Tillerson had pushed behind closed doors for Russia to show as a sort of first test of trust here that if they want better relations with the U.S., they have to stop backing Bashar al-Assad and cementing his hold at the helm of that government, which has been fighting its own people now for more than 6 years. You did hear Secretary Tillerson open the door a bit more to diplomacy, saying, Russia, we are fine with you leading diplomatic negotiations. You can play a very big role in shaping the next government of Syria, but it just can't be helmed by Bashar al-Assad, a man that President Trump called today an animal. And you heard from that spokesperson, essentially for acting as spokesperson for Vladimir Putin, but the top diplomat of Russia, Sergey Lavrov, saying, look, our top priority is that when you oust a dictator, we don't want chaos to ensue. So he was responding as if the U.S. was saying, kick him out tomorrow, when actually what the U.S. was saying is negotiate a transition of power. And it was interesting that Sergey Lavrov drew connections time and time again to the Obama administration, saying, you know, we got these mixed messages. And today, Secretary Tillerson, when they sat down at the beginning of their meeting, he said that they're continuing to get mixed messages from the Trump administration.
One of the other things that I know was briefly asked about and discussed, the alleged Russian interference in the U.S. election. It doesn't seem at this point from the Russian response that they have seen or believe in any evidence that may have been presented to them.
No, and from what I'm told in that extensive meeting with Sergey Lavrov today, it's not like the U.S. laid out evidence of either the gas attack or the election hacking. But Secretary Tillerson says, look, every single intelligence agency in America has come to the conclusion this happened. We're not questioning it. And he said he's quite clear that Russia knows not to do that again. There have been threats of further sanctions. Sergey Lavrov said that threat was not made to his face today.
Also, along those lines, you just mentioned no further sanctions discussed. It feels like there are so many differences. Were there any areas where we saw some agreement or some work that can be done together between the U.S. and Russia?
Well, the one areas that I heard from the Russian foreign minister were the concern about not escalating tensions and perhaps military action in North Korea. That's something he was concerned about, though also concerned of the growing nuclear power there. He also said they want to see implementation of the arms control agreements that Russia and the U.S. have negotiated in the past. Remember, the U.S. has accused Russia of basically cheating on a lot of those arms control agreements. And as Secretary Tillerson said, the U.S. and Russia are the top two nuclear powers in the world. We can't have relations at this kind of low, and we certainly can't have this kind of tension when we have those incredible nuclear weapons at our disposal.
Well, Margaret Brennan, our senior foreign affairs correspondent in Moscow. Margaret, we certainly appreciate the report and some of the insight. Thank you.